let's configure the interfaces on the servers. As I mentioned, the servers will run two bond interfaces, and on the FortiGate side we'll have two LAG interfaces. I mean, two VLAN interfaces, VLAN 20 and VLAN 10. One of the servers, and this is server 1, will run VLAN 10, and server 2 will run VLAN 20. So let's log into each of the servers. And let's start to configure the interfaces. So for this purpose, we will use Netplan. So I will go sudo nano etc netplan, and the configuration is 50 cloud init. It's a YAML file. So I'll start by removing the unnecessary lines. As I said, we'll have two interfaces, ENS3 and ENS4. Also should configure this one as false as well, and move this line underneath HCP4. Okay, now we declare the interfaces that we will use, and I will go ahead and configure the bonds. So my interface will be bond 0. It will have the address, which is listed here in the log. The subnet will be 192.168.100.254, and for the host portion, this is the gateway IP, and for the host IP, I'll use 192.168.100.1. So 192.168.100.1/24. I will add a route. The route is to default. Basically, I'm adding a default gateway, and it will go via 192.168.100.254. I also might want to add the name server. So let me just get this straight. Name server. And addresses is 8.8.8, which is Google DNS. Okay, so I will declare the interfaces which will participate in the log. So it's ENS3 and ENS4. And we'll also add some parameters. We'll specify the mode 802.3 AD, LACP rate, which is fast, and the monitor interval. is 100. So let's save and sudo netplan apply. So we have some error here. Maybe we can remove this line so we can leave the default configuration. And this is how you configure your bond interface. I'll go ahead and just yank this configuration, and we will transfer it here, but we'll change some things. So for this appliance, username is Ubuntu and the password is also Ubuntu. So I'll go with sudo vi fc netplan. I will delete the line that I don't need. And at this point I can just paste everything, but it's not okay. So I have to remove everything. So I have to go again with nano, because VI doesn't like the format of the nano. So I hope it will work here, and it did. So as I said, here we will use VLAN 200, which has 192.168.200.1 and 200.254 IP address. Go ahead and save it and sudo netplan apply. And here is the bond interface configured. Okay, now that we have configured the interfaces on the servers, we'll have to configure the switch also. And we'll have to configure the VLAN interfaces on the Fortigate devices. So let's check the interfaces on the switch. So interface 5 and 5 from DC switch 1 and respectively DC switch 2 is going to server 1. So we'll have to create a log using those two interfaces. So to save us some time, I'll go to the switch and let's consult the configuration on the interfaces. So configuration, interfaces, display set. And for example, we can take this A2 config and we can put it in a text document. And we can start modifying the configuration that we want to replace. So I will go with A3 to the interface which is connected to server 1. And I will also go with A4 for the interface which is connecting to server 2. So basically it's the same principle as the interfaces which are going to the FortiGates. So basically this interface and this one will be one lag, and here this interface and this interface will be a member of the same log. So it's the number will be A3 for this one and A4 for this one. This is the logical interface I'm talking about right now. So let's see the configuration here, and let's start modifying. So this is 3. We'll replace everything with 3. And the VLAN member will be not trunk, it will be access. And we'll leave the VLAN 10 here and VLAN 20 here. Here we'll change it to 4. And also we'll have to copy the configuration from this switch 2. And we'll yank also a 2 interface configuration and put it here, modify the A number, also system ID, admin key and MCA ID, along with interface mode, which is access, and VLAN member, which is 10 for this one, and which is 20 for this one. Also move this to A4, system ID, admin key, and MCA ID. Okay, now we can start copying the configuration, but we still have to configure the physical interfaces which will participate in the logical ones. So let's recapitulate. G005 is going to server 1, G006 interfaces are going to server 2. So let's go back here, set interfaces G005, enter options, equal to the 3AD, A3, and interface 6 is A4. We can copy the exact 2 lines and transfer them here after we enter the configuration mode, of course. And now we can go ahead and yank the configuration for this switch 1. And let's save it. And also the configuration for this switch 2. Let's commit it and check the LACP status. So we see that all the interfaces are in collecting and distributing, which means that the LACP is working. Also, if you check the interface on the server, the bond interface is working also. So the bond is up and LACP was successfully negotiated with the servers. So now what we have to do, we have to travel to the Fortigate device. Since our devices are in a cluster, it's enough if we configure just one of them, and the one of them is the HA1 because it is the cluster master. Let's check the HA if it is in synchronized state, and it is. If it is in synchronized state, we can go ahead and configure VLAN interfaces. So, as I said, we'll configure VLAN interfaces and interface log 1.10. The parent interface is log 1 and VLAN ID is 10. It's undefined for now. And let's check the build sheet. It has the IP 192.168.100.254. 192.168.100.254/24. We will enable ping, and that's it. Okay, now let's go ahead and create log 1.20. Also a VLAN interface. Log 1 is the pair, VLAN ID is 20, role will stay undefined, and IP address 192.168.200.254/24, and we will enable ping here. So I enabled ping for this one also, which means that if I go to the HA and to the console, sorry, and if I ping only to 168.1.101, my ping will work and the traffic is flowing through the switch. And if I ping the second server, the ping also works. And if I go to the server and I type run show Ethernet switching table, I can see that all my mocks are already learned. And also here, run show Ethernet switching table, my mocks are also already learned here. So this, now we have a working data center, but we still need to configure the internet access for it. So we'll do that in the upcoming lesson.